Hey guys, welcome to another Tube Tuesday. Today I bring you a pretty, hopefully short one, but it's a good feature in my opinion, mostly because I implemented it. And it has to do with MetConnect and the way that when it comes to, launching a calibration and performing the calibration. As many of you know, MetConnect is a way to interface IndySoft with the software from Fluke called MetCal. Um, and usually the workflow goes as someone goes into IndySoft, they open a procedure from somewhere, they insert an asset number, and they go in and start doing a calibration. And then they use one of our custom scripts to basically import that data from MetCal into IndySoft again, so that the record gets saved in the event in IndySoft and not in MetCal. However, a lot of people would like to take this a little further. So when it comes to the procedures, usually what happens is that most people have the procedures stored in a folder, in a shared drive or something like that, where management of the files can become pretty cumbersome. So luckily, we have an IndySoft feature, or an add edit list that's been there forever, called the add edit documents and procedures. So if you want to use something in an event, naturally you use a procedure, and that's what we're going to be using. So let's say that you want to use a procedure with in IndySoft that basically relates to a MetCal procedure. You go in and you simply add the file. So I have my PXC file here. That's a procedure in MetCal. I finish that, and that's it. This is, for now, standard training. Then what you can do is under the scheduling tab in the calibration schedule selected, you can click here and add a procedure, and it's going to prompt you for everything. So this allows you as a system administrator to keep everything under the add edit procedure, and you can now manage your revisions and everything there. On top of that, you can now, as a technician, find a procedure from a list that's already curated for you, and add that to the corresponding schedule. So what happens now when you run the event is that the procedure is going to be in this list. So if you go ahead and you double click it as it currently is, it launches MetCal, which is pretty useful on its own, right? And it's going to preload the procedure into MetCal. So what's happening in the background is that we download a copy of the procedure and we pass it as a parameter here so that then it knows what to open, right? However, we can take this a little further. If you go into user location settings and you go to the MetConnect tab, you can see that there's a new setting called auto select asset when launching MetCal procedure from event. So if you click this and you reload all settings, probably, whenever you go, oops, that's where we're at. Whenever you go into your calibration event and you try to launch, let me make sure that MetCal is closed. Yep. You try to launch, you can immediately tell in the task manager, and this is something I might need a reboot here. All right, so once you double click here, let's go at it again. You can immediately tell that the procedure is being passed and the asset is being passed as part of the command line as well. So if we log in here, what should happen is that now it should get prompted immediately for a work order number, depending on how consistent MetCal is. Let's see. There we go. And as soon as I insert my work order number, this makes the workflow a lot easier. It's going to load some files from the procedure. It's going to start doing everything it needs to do. You prevent your users, making a mistake when typing the asset. You prevent your users selecting the wrong procedure, because now you can associate that procedure equipment. I'll get this because I have no device connected. You can prevent a lot of things from going wrong in the process where someone might just choose or type the wrong information. So that's it. It's a pretty neat but hopefully useful feature for you guys to try out whenever you work with MetCal and MetConnect. Thank you.